Hi, Rasmus users. Today we are going to be talking about program tags, how to create them, and where you can use them in Rasmus. So let's start by going to Settings, Programs, Tags. Tags are something that you can assign to programs, and we can use them in a number of different ways to pull certain programs into a specific place. So first thing is you're going to have a bunch of out-of-the-box tags. You can edit these and color code them to reflect whatever colors you want. You can also add additional tags here as well. One thing to note is that you can control who has access. It's only going to be manager level users and supervisors that would have access to this section right here. But I'll show you another spot where they would potentially have access to add additional tags. So you can see we just have a few out of the box tabs here. They start tags here. They start colored gray, and then you can color them whatever color you choose. So this is how we create program tags. To add tags to a program, we can do this in a couple of different places. We can start by doing it in the library. So if we want to take a program, you can add tags right here. So if, for example, this is, let's just pretend that this is a hygiene tag that we want to add. We can go ahead and add hygiene to that program. Tags can really represent whatever you want. They can represent a session location or, include a detail of how you would want to pull it into a report. It can also be the type of program or, anything that you really want to use to be able to sort of categorize your different programs, because you can use the tags so that certain programs are displayed in certain places. So I'm going to hit save. That's one way that we can add tags. And as you notice, if we go into the library here, you're going to be able to see when you click into a folder or when you are just viewing your programs from the main library page, you'll be able to see those tags. And then, of course, we can go into a individual client's programs and we can view tags here as well. So if we edit a program, one thing to note is that you can actually add tags by typing and hitting enter. That will add a tag to the list. So just keep that in mind. This is not a task analysis program. So we'll go back into that. Oh, we'll go into that later and correct that, but this is just a test account anyways. So, I can see here that this is where I added that task analysis tag, so I can always remove that. And maybe I want to add a duration because it's a duration program, add a duration tag, then I can do so there. So let's keep that in mind. Anybody who has access to go in and edit programs can add tags in that way. We can also choose whether or not we want to display the tags in the table columns on the program overview page. And we can also filter our programs by the tags here on this programs list. So if you have a really long program list and you just want to look at your skill acquisition programs, you can go ahead and do that. So that's one place that we can filter our programs by tags. The next place we can filter programs by tags is here on the progress page. So we can add a filter and filter the programs that show up here on this overview page for progress by the tags. Again, let's tag skill acquisition and pull those up. We can also do it within a program progress graph itself. So any of the graphs you can go in and filter by tags. Let's say we have an insights graph. An insights graph, you can include many different programs in one graph. So on this graph, I have it filtered to pull in by target status and then by the tags for skill acquisition. So this is all of Charlie Brown's programs that have mastered targets and that are tagged with skill acquisition. So that's a couple of places that we can filter for tags. Now, the next two places I'm going to show you are probably the more common use of this and are super useful. So when we run a session, we can filter by tags within a session as well. So if I start this session with Charlie Brown, I can actually go in and filter by his tags. So if I can only choose one at a time. So if I just want to pull up my skill acquisition programs, it's just going to show me skill acquisition programs. I can then remove that by clicking this little icon here. If I just want independent play programs, then I can do that as well. So that's another super useful use case. And this is maybe a nice place where you might incorporate, tags on programs for a particular therapy location or, something along those lines. I'm going to finish this session and show you the last and probably most common and important place that we use tags in the system. So next is going to be, we're going to go to settings and we're going to templates. And next we're going to select reports. So I just have a basic treatment plan sample here. Within our program progress section, so these are where you actually will pull your programs into your treatment plan. So if you add a section called treatment progress, that's going to be these sections right here. You can see that we can use tags to filter in the programs that show up in that section. So one thing to note is that if we add a single tag, it's just going to pull in programs that are tagged with that tag. But you can add multiple different tags. So if you want skill acquisition or duration programs, you can do that. We can also say we want it to have both types of tags. So I want skill acquisition tags that are also snack programs, then we can do that as well. So if it's two separate filters, that will mean that it has to have both of those tags. So what this looks like then when we go to actually generate a report is you'll see that when I go to the progress tab here, select report, and I go into an initial treatments plan, when I scroll down to this skill acquisition section, only my skill acquisition programs, my programs that are tagged with that skill acquisition tag are going to pull into this section. So it's going to be organized by my treatment areas, which you'll learn about in a separate video. And as we scroll down, we can see the different treatment areas in those different programs, but it's only going to be those programs that are tagged with that skill acquisition tag. And if we scroll down to, for example, our behavior reduction or tacting section, it's only going to be those programs or those goals that have those particular tags. So that's the major use cases in our system for program tags. I hope you enjoyed.